Hi everyone and welcome to another Korean lesson from Korean Studio. My name is Kim Gi-hwan. Today we're going to learn how to say before and after in Korean, and the key syllables that mean before and after are 전 and 후. These syllables have Chinese origin and they are used in many other nouns that relate to the meaning of before and after. For example, 전직 refers to your previous job, 전처 refers to ex-wife, and to talk about first half in games of sports, we say 전반. We can also use 전 to mean former or previous. So 전 대통령 means former president. Similarly, 후식 means dessert. 후계자 is a successor. And the second half of sports is referred to as 후반. So the key to saying before and after in Korean are these two syllables. However, in today's lesson, we want to focus on using before and after to sequence events. And to do that, we add the time particle 에 to 전 and 후 and form 전에 and 후에. So let's first take a look at how we use 전에. First, we can use 전에 with nouns to say some action happens before a noun. So to say, I did homework before lunch, we can say, 저는 점심 전에 숙제했어요. 저는 점심 전에 숙제했어요. 저 means I, and it's used with the topic particle 는. 점심 means lunch, and to say before lunch, we use 전에 after 점심. Lastly, 숙제했어요 means did homework. So altogether, 저는 점심 전에 숙제했어요 means I did homework before lunch. However, we can also use 전에 with verbs to sequence two actions. Here's an example sentence. 저는 점심 먹기 전에 숙제했어요. I did homework before I ate lunch. 저는 점심 먹기 전에 숙제했어요. So the structure of the sentence is pretty much the same, except for 먹기 전에. And this combines the verb 먹다 to eat and 기 전에. The combined form 먹기 전에 can mean before I ate lunch or before eating lunch. So to sequence two actions, we add 기 전에 to the verb stem, and the stem of 먹다 is 먹. Let's take a look at two more example sentences. 저는 학교 전에 운동했어요. I exercised before school. 저는 학교 전에 운동했어요. 저는 학교 가기 전에 운동했어요. I exercised before I went to school. 저는 학교 가기 전에 운동했어요. So in the second sentence, we've added 기 전에 to the stem of the verb 가다, meaning to go. So 학교 가기 전에 means before I went to school or before going to school. And when we sequence two actions using 기 전에, the tense of the two verbs is only indicated in the second verb. So because 운동했어요 is in past tense, the verb 가다 in 가기 전에 also implies past meaning. Do keep that in mind. Now, one other thing to note is that when we use 전에 with time expressions, it can be used like ago in English. So to say, I exercised an hour ago, we can say, 저는 1시간 전에 운동했어요. 저는 1시간 전에 운동했어요. And in this sentence, 1시간 means 1 hour, and when it's used with 전에, it means an hour ago. Okay, so that's how you use 전에 to mean before and ago. Let's now take a look at how we use 후에 to mean after in Korean. First, here's how we use 후에 with nouns. 저는 점심 후에 숙제했어요. I did homework after lunch. 저는 점심 후에 숙제했어요. Similar to 전에, we use 후에 after a noun to say after that noun. So 점심 후에 means after lunch. And then we state what we did after lunch, which in this case is 숙제했어요, did homework. Let's now take a look at how we use 후에 with verbs to sequence two actions. 저는 점심 먹은 후에 숙제했어요. I did homework after I ate lunch. 저는 점심 먹은 후에 숙제했어요. To sequence two actions, we add 은 후에 to verbs. So 먹다 combines with 은 후에 to form 먹은 후에. And this means after I ate lunch or after eating lunch. However, we add 은 후에 if the stem ends in 받침, such as 먹다, which ends in 기역 받침. But if the stem doesn't end in 받침, we add 니은 후에. Here's an example sentence. 저는 영화 본 후에 운동했어요. I exercised after I watched the film. 저는 영화 본 후에 운동했어요. In this sentence, 본 후에 combines the verb 보다, to see or watch, with 니은 후에 to form 본 후에. And we add 니은 후에 because the stem of the verb 보다 doesn't end in 받침. And similar to 기 전에, the tense of the two verbs is only indicated by the second verb. Now, the final point to note is that when we use time expressions with 후에, 후에 is used to mean later, as in how much time later. Here's an example sentence. 저는 1시간 후에 운동했어요. I exercised an hour later. 저는 1시간 후에 운동했어요. So in this sentence, 1시간 means an hour and 1시간 후에 means an hour later. So when 후에 is used with time expressions, we're saying that an action happened a certain amount of time later. So 후에 can be used to mean after, but with time expressions, it's used to mean later. Now, one thing to note is that there are many different ways of saying after in Korean. And obviously we've learned 후에, but there is also 고 나서, and we can also use 아서, 어서 to mean after. And each of these phrases that we use to mean after have a particular function. So in certain contexts, it's really important that you use one and not the other. But the most general way of saying after is 후에, and that's what we've learned today. And in the future, we'll create more videos on learning other ways of saying after in Korean. Okay, so I hope you now have a better understanding of how to say before and after using 전에 and 후에. That's it for today, and I look forward to seeing you soon again. Bye-bye.